Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush African savanna, nestled beneath the shade of towering baobab trees, lay the village of Akunda. It was a place where laughter echoed through the air and the people lived in harmony with the land. The villagers were known for their warmth and hospitality, always welcoming strangers with open arms and hearty meals. But amidst this cheerful community was a man named Duro, whose story was as unique as the landscape that surrounded them. Duro was a man of considerable stature, both in physical presence and in heart. His broad shoulders and strong hands were testament to his hard work in the fields and his dedication to his community. But there was one thing about Duro that set him apart from the other men in Akunda, a secret that was both a blessing and a curse. Duro had a particularly large manhood, something that had been the subject of whispers and giggles among the village women and a point of pride for the men. Yet, this gift had brought Duro more heartache than joy. Over the years, Duro had sought the companionship of many women in Akunda, hoping to find love and start a family. However, his size had often been a source of discomfort and fear for the women he courted. "Duro, you are a good man," they would say, "but I am afraid I cannot marry you." Time and again, Duro faced rejection. Each refusal cut deeper than the last, and soon, the jovial man found himself retreating into the shadows of his own loneliness. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky blazed with hues of orange and pink, Duro sat beneath the great baobab tree. The weight of his loneliness pressed heavily upon him. "Why must I be burdened with this?" he whispered to the wind. "Am I not deserving of love and happiness?" His heart ached with the yearning for companionship, and for the first time, he felt truly hopeless. As if in response to his sorrow, an elderly woman approached Duro. She was known in the village as Mama Zuri, a healer and a keeper of ancient wisdom. "Duro, my child," she said softly, her eyes twinkling with kindness, "why do you sit here alone, with such sadness in your heart?" Duro sighed and shared his woes with Mama Zuri, who listened patiently, nodding in understanding. After Duro had finished, Mama Zuri placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "My dear, you must understand that true love is not just about physical attraction or compatibility. It is about finding someone who sees you for who you are, beyond your physical form. Your heart, your kindness, and your spirit, these are the things that matter most." Duro looked at her, hope flickering in his eyes. "But how will I find such a person?" he asked. Mama Zuri smiled. "The universe has a way of guiding us to where we need to be. Trust in the journey, and do not lose faith." Not long after their conversation, the village of Akunda prepared for its annual festival, a time of celebration, music, and dance. The air was filled with the scent of delicious food, and the rhythmic beats of drums echoed through the night. Villagers adorned in their finest clothes gathered in the central square, their faces alight with excitement and joy. Duro, encouraged by Mama Zuri's words, decided to join the festivities, hoping to find solace in the company of his friends and neighbors. As the festival reached its peak, a newcomer arrived in Akunda. Her name was Kemi, a young woman from a neighboring village. She moved with a grace that seemed to mesmerize everyone around her. Her smile was warm and genuine, and her laughter was like a melody that brought light to the darkest corners. Duro, standing by the edge of the crowd, couldn't help but notice her. There was something different about Kemi, something that drew him to her. As the night wore on, the music grew softer, and couples began to dance under the starlit sky. Summoning his courage, Duro approached Kemi and asked her for a dance. She accepted with a radiant smile. As they moved to the rhythm of the music, Duro felt a connection he had never experienced before. Kemi looked into his eyes and saw not just a man, but a soul longing for love and acceptance. In that moment, Duro realized that he had found someone who saw him for who he truly was. After the dance, Duro and Kemi found a quiet spot by a fire and talked late into the night. They shared stories of their lives, their dreams, and their fears. Duro found himself opening up to Kemi in ways he had never done before, and Kemi listened with genuine interest and empathy. As the fire crackled and the stars shone above, a bond began to form between them, one that transcended physical appearance and touched the core of their beings. In the days that followed, Duro and Kemi spent more time together. They worked side by side in the fields, walked through the village, and shared meals with laughter and joy. The villagers watched as their relationship blossomed, and many were happy to see Duro's smile return. Kemi's presence brought out the best in him, and together, they seemed to radiate a happiness that was infectious. One evening, as they sat under the old baobab tree, Duro felt the need to address the one issue that had plagued him for so long. He took a deep breath and told Kemi about his past rejections and his fear that his physical attributes might one day come between them. Kemi listened carefully, her expression serious yet gentle. "Duro," she said softly, "I love you for who you are. Your heart, your kindness, and your spirit are what matter to me. We will face any challenges together, as partners. Do not let fear overshadow our love." With Kemi's words resonating in his heart, Duro felt a surge of confidence and clarity. He knew what he had to do. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the village, Duro knelt before Kemi and took her hands in his. "Kemi," he said, his voice filled with emotion, "will you marry me and be my partner in this journey of life?" Tears welled up in Kemi's eyes, and she smiled through her tears. "Yes, Duro," she replied, "I will marry you." The village of Akunda came alive with celebration as Duro and Kemi's wedding day arrived. The air was filled with music, laughter, and the vibrant colors of traditional attire. Villagers danced and sang, rejoicing in the union of two souls who had found their way to each other against all odds. Duro and Kemi exchanged vows beneath the great baobab tree, its ancient branches a silent witness to their commitment. As they sealed their promises with a kiss, a cheer erupted from the crowd, and the celebration continued long into the night. After the wedding, Duro and Kemi set off on a honeymoon that took them through the breathtaking landscapes of their homeland. They visited nearby waterfalls, hiked through lush forests, and spent quiet evenings by the river, sharing dreams and plans for their future. These moments of tranquility and togetherness strengthened their bond, and they returned to Akunda more in love than ever. Back in the village, Duro and Kemi began building their life together. They constructed a home with their own hands, planting a garden that soon flourished with vegetables and flowers. They participated in village activities, always side by side, their love and partnership an inspiration to others. Duro's loneliness was a distant memory, replaced by the joy and fulfillment of a shared life. In time, Duro and Kemi were blessed with a child, a beautiful baby girl they named Zawadi, meaning the gift. The village celebrated the new addition with songs and dances, welcoming Zawadi with open hearts. As Duro held his daughter in his arms, he felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. His journey had been long and challenging, but it had led him to this moment of pure happiness. Years passed, and Duro and Kemi's family grew. One day, as he sat with Mama Zuri, watching the village children play, Duro reflected on his journey. "Mama Zuri," he said, "your words guided me when I was lost. You taught me to trust in the journey and not lose faith. I owe my happiness to your wisdom." Mama Zuri smiled and patted his hand. "Duro, my child, it was always within you. You just needed to see it for yourself." Duro and Kemi's love story became a legend in Akunda, a tale of perseverance, faith, and the power of true love. Their home was always filled with laughter, love, and the warmth of family. Their children grew up hearing the story of their parents' journey, understanding that love is more than skin deep, it is a connection of souls. The villagers admired Duro and Kemi for their unwavering bond and the example they set for generations to come. As the years went by, Duro and Kemi continued to walk hand in hand, facing